What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Carlotta Chatwood Show. This 3 days in a row. What's up, y'all? Okay. Listen, I have been just seeing interesting commentary that I feel like talking about. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you see the title today is the baddie lifestyle. Is it realistic or not? Man, I'm so tired of this discussion because I feel like we live in a world of differences, unique differences, different people, different lifestyles, different. We talked about this a little bit yesterday and the day before. People, everybody is different. And it's happened because this young lady came on and was talking about $50,000 a month. Okay, we talked about her yesterday. We played her yesterday, saying how her lifestyle requires $50,000 a month. If she called herself a nighttime girl, I don't know what that is. I'm not sure, but I think a lot of people are just like, what is going on? Like, is it men are finding themselves, listen, I think a lot of men are finding themselves feeling a little bad. I think here's what I'm going to say, fellas. You're feeling bad about too much ado about, what is it? Much ado, what's the word? Much ado about nothing. I forget what how the real world goes, but it's much ado about nothing. Listen, let me just say this: the real women who are living that life, and no offense to the young lady, I think she was out here fishing because she's putting herself on the internet because she's very beautiful and she might get it. Who knows? But she might be out here fishing for that. But most women who are living a lifestyle where they're getting $50,000 a month from somebody is not on the internet. They're not on the internet. They're not talking about it. They're busy living. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Somebody you're seeing, when you seeing somebody on there doing that, they're not doing that. And listen, let me tell you something. My personal opinion, unless you're dealing with very high end men, this is what I said yesterday, very high end men. And I'm not talking about just athletes, and it depends on what. There are levels to athletes, there are levels to musicians, there are levels to celebrities, and there's levels to different types of men depending on the lifestyle you're living. Okay, there are levels. Okay, there are levels. So there are women built for different levels of these lifestyles. Let's not act like there are women built who are built. And what I will say to these women too, a lot of women, a lot of y'all are like, when I talk about baddies, we tend to think of baddies as the internet vixens, the video vixens, things like that. All that. That's not a baddie. I don't know. That's baddie, yeah, for if you're hanging out with a celebrity on a yacht or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That only lasts so long. That's a job that can only last so if you're one of the roster. You know what I'm saying? If it's a roster, that's a different type of baddie. But when we're talking about men, when we're talking about men who rule industry, uh oh, uh oh, we're going into something else here. Okay. I'm not talking about you guys out there, and I don't want you to get offended. Please don't get offended by what I'm saying. When we're talking about men who rule industries, who are, their lifestyles are different. Okay. So they do have women that fulfill those lifestyles. And here's what, okay, let's talk about it. And sometimes, listen, sometimes the men who rule industry, just like the men who ain't got no money, who maybe, and let me say this. I want to say this because before I start off, I meant to start off with this. I just went right into the topic, but let me say this. Yesterday, I said something I was listening to the playback. Please do not get offended if you worked at Target. I listen, I will work at Target any day of the week, okay? What I meant, I use Macy's instead because it seemed like Target might be a jump to Jeff Bezos, but it's not really. I use this very smart, brilliant, beautiful women working at Target, beautiful men working at Target. It's none. I work at Target right now. Okay, it's nothing wrong with working at Target. It's nothing wrong with working at Macy's. I just use a retail manager or something because it's more likely that jump to happen. But there was not. I did not want to make that sound like a diss to anybody working, and you work where you got to work. You know what I'm saying? Don't feel bad about shit you got to do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna get into that some other things a little later. It depends on who you. Everybody's called to different things in life, different stages in life, different people in life. I mean, because the price, you all pay a price for your lifestyle. Everybody pays a price for who they gonna be. So that's the first thing I want to say. That it depends. Some people were raised to be married to royalty. Some people were raised to be married to heads of industry. It's something in their life that took them through a certain thing that prepares them for that type of thing. I remember I told y'all the story. We talked about the story of Esther. Esther just didn't walk up in that cat. I love the story. The story of Esther in the Bible is one of my favorite stories because Esther did not just walk her tail up into the Persian Empire and become queen. There was a process to it. Remember, he was looking for a queen. He went out and looked amongst everyone to find his queen. Esther had came from a poor family, Jewish family. She was adopted, okay? But something about Esther, her cousin Mordecai knew that she would make a good queen. Esther also had lots of wisdom. When she went into the castle, let me just say this. When you read that story, when she went into the castle to become the king's, and I love that story. I use that story because I think women today need to understand something, okay? And men too. I'm not just talking about women, men too. Men being equipped to be even with powerful women, okay? You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about being with somebody like powerful, Esther goes up into, and that's anybody in life. Everybody's powerful in their own atmosphere, okay? But some people are running different things, okay? The CEO is different from the average employee, okay? So there's nothing, it doesn't mean he's better than, it just means his lifestyle is different, you know? But when Esther decided that she was going to be queen, it was thousands of women that came into that castle wanting to be queen. There was a number of things, if you look at that story, that happened. First of all, Esther was went to be obedient to Mordecai, who was her elder. She understood that her elder understood something about her and where she was going. I mean, when you think about it, Esther probably didn't want to leave her family. But Mordecai said, hey, this is this right here. Who knows that if you haven't come to, if you're not born for this. When she goes up into the castle, and it was a very big risk to go into the castle, okay, to be queen, because what she could have ended up as a concubine. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody want the life of a concubine. You just waiting for the king to call your ass. You know what I'm saying? It's just waiting for them. Like, yeah, he might call you, he might not, but you once you entered that castle, you were king's property, meaning your life was no longer your own. And all the women left over, they didn't have a chance at marriage or anything else. They usually became concubines, unless they probably ran away or something like that. Okay, they was subjected to the king. That was just in them days. Okay, you ain't got to do that these days, man. Don't start thinking you can do that this day. See, that's proof for polyamory and all that. That's like he was a king. Okay, and he was dealing with concubines at the time. Okay, and a queen. Okay. But when Esther comes into the building, Esther's very aware of what her life is gonna be no longer her own. But she believes that what her cousin has told her. And she knows her cousin is a wise man. So once Esther is in there, Esther is acting within wisdom. She listens to what her uncle told her about hiding her identity. She moves in wisdom. She gains favor. She moves in so much wisdom in the place that she gains favor with one of the king's favorite people, and a guy who understood what the king likes. And she gains favor with him, and he begins to mold Esther into what the king likes. Hey, this is what you got to do. You need to mold you. We need you to do this. We need to do. And Esther didn't complain. She probably felt inside like, you mean I got to go back in here and soak in this stuff again? You mean I got to do my hair like this again? It was very intentional, okay? But Esther was preparing to be a queen. It was preparation. Her whole life prepared her for that position. You say, Carlotta, what does this have to do with being a baddie? Because I'm telling you, listen, different people in the world will be different things. There are some women in this world who are prepared, who are not for regular lifestyle. There are some women who were born to be queens. That doesn't mean that they're less than. They just Queen Elizabeth was born to be Queen of England. It wasn't always her lineage, but it became her lineage. That you don't think there was preparation for that? So I think what we're seeing today is that a lot of people a lot of y'all on here asking, trying to live like Esther, and y'all ain't Esther. Oh my God. A lot of y'all trying to jump into lifestyles and jump into things that you are not meant for. And some of y'all in the wrong lifestyle. Some of y'all underestimating yourself. Listen, you know when a person's out of, I've been there. I've been in rooms where I've seen a person who shouldn't be in the room. I'm like, what? They something else. Like you can feel their energy is different. The way they move and flow is different. And you know, like you like, she in the right place. He in the right place. You will know if you in the wrong place. Eventually, because eventually you're gonna pop out. You're gonna pop out if you suppose. I just believe it's not even about lifestyle. I think that what's happening is the internet has exposed all kind of lifestyles. It showed you what the world looks like. It shows you what people now you can see what billionaires live like. All you gotta do is go on your computer screen and you can go look and see what a bill. And some people just, you look at that lifestyle, and you think, yeah, that's what I want. But you only seeing the perks. You ain't seeing the cost it costs to be that person. You get what I'm saying? Like there is a price. And the same things I would say to you ladies, there is a price to being a bad. I was seeing one of the girls today. I don't know, y'all would consider a baddie. Okay. Now, I don't like some of the, she got three wealthy baby daddies. I'm a person that just, not to knock her, but my personal belief is that you shouldn't give off children till you married. Okay, but she's got three baby daddies. Y'all consider her a bad baddie out here. I'm not gonna even say her name, but she was showing video of herself working out in the gym. I mean, she's working her butt off. Probably does that a lot of times a day. Why? Because she feel her in right now, this is her prime time or whatever, and she's trying to keep her looks up and everything because that's a part of this imaging. Now, I also think it's problematic because I also looking at her and I say, man, you got three baby daddies already. I mean, they ain't marrying you out in these streets. To me, is it time to change the energy? Like, doesn't mean you don't stop working out. It's just what I said about Chantel. We talked about Chantel going back to Floyd Mayweather. And I said, sometimes you gotta do the work. Like you gotta, sometimes it's you being called, you not that lifestyle. That lifestyle is not working for you anymore. And you've explored it in a certain atmosphere, and now it's time for you to be something else. Those type of baddie girls, internet girls who's going with athletes, celebrities, all this stuff and everything, which y'all consider the baddies, are not, to me, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, they're not doing 50,000K a month with these guys. Okay. When we're talking about 50,000K, these are women probably that are very low key, uh, probably are like when you think of look at when you think of the women Jeff Bezos has married, or when you look at even Bill Gates. Well, not anymore. Bill Gates, these guys have a lot of player tendencies, some of them, because they can get so many women and all kind of stuff like that. Some don't, but some do. There is a price to being those type of people. And so you have to understand, am I built to be with that type of person? Now, I also will say this. Black American women, Black women in general, Black men, I think you have a problem. And this is the biggest problem. I think Black American men, not all Black American men, but a lot of Black American men, you have seen your women wrong. There's always been constant. Black American women have been some of the most creative, passionate, smart women in a book, but there's been jokes about when Black women, like for instance, weaves. Black American women created, a Black American woman created that. All women wear weaves, wigs, extensions, all women of all colors, wigs. When white women wear wigs in the 50s, it's not new. But you guys instead joked about it instead of saying, hey, baby, this is an industry. Let me invest in my woman to make sure that we will own this industry. But I think what's happened a lot of times with Black, that's just an example, one example. I think a lot of times because we have a background of slavery, and this is not at any time, at any way to, how can I say that? To lower our ancestors who were slaves, because they had to do what they had to do to survive, and we should honor them. I don't like nobody saying. I heard two Africans talking about Black Americans, and they were saying somebody told them, Godfrey. He was saying somebody told him on one of these shows, like one of his shows, he was saying somebody told him, well, look, you got a history, a background, and we came from slaves. I was like, uh-huh. And he was like, oh, yeah, I had to think about that. And I was like, there's some people in Africa that don't even know their history and background. They've been cut off a lot. Sometimes they don't even know. It depends on what part of Africa you're from. But secondly, no, we know exactly who we come from. And let me just say this. I'm going to say this. This is a sidebar. I'd rather be connected to the strength of those slaves than connected to the traitors that got them here. Put that on that. Cock that teeth. Okay. And it's not to dog Africans. Okay. But that is what happened. Don't try to make me feel like I have to be connected. No, my people came here and did what they had to do and change the world. There will be no disrespect of the slaves. None. They were powerful. Probably some of the most powerful. Look at what's happened Look at what's happened to Africa since the slave trade. Okay. And this is no hate, no shame. Okay. Okay. Don't sit up here and talk about the people who had to go out who were traded throughout the diaspora and who made something of it. But I digress. I'm going on something else. But going back to we have a history of slavery in America. And a lot of times Black women had a lot more power. Black women were feminists when they had no choice, because you had this fear being put on Black men because of slavery. There was an idea that you had to break Black men. You had to break the Black family. You had to break. So often, sometimes what emerged was Black women being stronger, maintaining community, sometimes even negotiating with white men for things and for their families and stuff. Sometimes it would be easier for Black women to negotiate certain things than Black men. It would be safer. And so a lot of Black men are still there. We still, and Black women too, are carrying a mentality of poverty of what slavery did, what slavery passed on. We're still living in scarcity. And so a lot of women, a lot of you black men are still looking at black women not as docile, not as being taken care of, not as this and that, but you're looking at them as the strong women who carried the community sometimes when you couldn't. And so now the generations are changing. We have has the family structures somewhat start healing, somewhat I say, has things start happening, and you're having different, your daughters are being raised up now differently, your sons are being raised up now differently. It's not just in urban settings, it's in now we've expanded in suburbia and stuff like that. So our minds are expanding a little bit and things are expanding, and so our children are wanting more. And a lot of times y'all still trying to pass that mentality down, and y'all not, I'm not saying desire to be like your oppressor. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, but there is structures to governing. You have to get outside. A lot of black women and black men are still living in that even though we go to work every day and we've become great things, but we're still living in that scarcity of slavery. And I think partly because of that has happened because our women, black women, have not been, we've always been somewhat babying our men in the community. And we haven't taught our sons the power of provision or showed them what they a lot of times, sometimes, not all women, not all black women, but they're seeing that the harder side of motherhood, because a lot of you got a lot of single mothers in Black America. And so they're not seeing what fathers do, what men do. Men are builders. And if you got a woman, there's sometimes where you have women that are builders too. But for the most part, you tend to think the way a lot of these men are thinking is just kind of backwards. You don't have a lot of y'all are not thinking in terms of industry, being builders of industry, being builders of being entrepreneur. What does that take? Those type of men. There have been black men that have become builders of industry, black women that have become builders of industry and stuff like that, but they're still carrying the scarcity of slavery inside. So you're not understanding one thing, that people who are like, you can look at men like, I'm not saying be like your oppressors, don't get me wrong, morality wise and stuff like that. I'm saying that one of the things you can look at with men that have built structures or built empires or built things, you can learn certain things from them. Some of the things y'all worrying about, some of the shit y'all worrying about, you don't need to be worrying about. If you not Jeff Bezos, if you not, listen, if y'all, a lot of y'all sitting on the internet going back and forth about these women who want $50,000 a month and stuff like that, them ain't your women. That ain't for you to worry about. Hey, well, you have my league, girl. I ain't shit. Like I told that story on here. What's that blind item? Where the woman said it'd be 50,000 for the night, it'd be 150,000, and this man had some money, it'd be 300,000, and he was like, "Okay, babe, we'll see you later. Get in the car. I ain't trying to pay all that. That ain't your lane. It ain't nothing to sit on here to keep arguing about it and time, man, he did. These women asking for too much. No, it ain't for you. Do what you can in your point. But that doesn't mean that a woman is a prostitute because she is getting that allowance. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that. It just depends on what lifestyles and people things that you live in, okay? And how you live. And I think we should just be more open to, I don't even know how I can say it, because I don't want women out here to just think that money is important, because that's not true. There are a number of things that have become important. Either we not thinking money is important, we not thinking that lifestyle is important, or we thinking too much that lifestyle is important. You have to have balance. And so but I also think that there are these new hypergamy movements that are giving women standards that are going to help the men. Because if women have low standards, the men will have low standards. If women are asking for more in society, the men will start to work differently, will start to think of themselves differently. Old school used to kind of do that. I know when I think the masculinity, I talked about this the other day, has gone different. It's different at different times. It just depends on who, and different men for different things. Okay. But the era of my grandfather, which is it's not the baby boomers, it's the greatest generation. What's they call it? The greatest generation, the generation beforehand. I think that's what they call it, before the baby boomers. They were not too far, maybe less than 100 years from slavery being born, maybe less than 80 to 100 years from slavery, right? Very early when we're talking about the 1930s, fresh outside of the Great Depression. Um, Being born in a time in America where there's still white water fountains and black water fountains, okay? And there are all these things that every day speak to your race and stuff like that, just speak to the history of black people in America. But I will tell you, when I listen to my grandfather and them, and they tell their stories, yes, their lives were tougher. Yes, their lives were different. They knew how to work farm in the farm. They knew how to do a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? And they still could fix stuff. So that the younger guys don't know how to fix nowadays and stuff like that. You've been privileged enough to not have to live on hard times. But one of the things that I recognized about my grandfather, that there was never much uh um he always felt, I would watch him I remember I used to get up in the morning when he would get up to go to work. Cause I'd be wondering, sometimes, because I love my grandfather. I'd be missing him. I'd be like, oh, Papa, or something like that. And I sometimes walk around the house with, and it was tough. My grandma sometimes would still be in the bed. Sometimes I still be in the bed, but he got up every morning at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning. And what gave him, like, made him happy later on in the years, he told me, is when I was able to buy this house, when I was able to do this, when I was able to do that, when I was able to take care of you, his joy was in, that doesn't mean he didn't have things. My grandfather was a singer. He was a gospel singer too. My grandfather still do sing when he can, here and there. Both my grandparents are alive, but they early in their years, they used to sing. They travel and sing. Both my grandparents would sing. And but it was nothing like seeing us happy or seeing us in our family. And when he couldn't provide, when there were harder times or when things were hard, he got tougher. But his mother was different. When I think about his mother and father, where he told me his mother would say, my grandfather could cook really well. I remember I said, how'd you learn how to cook? He said, because my mother told me, you boy, what if your wife gets sick? You better know how to cook. And so she taught her boys how to cook. They also grew up in Mississippi in a different time where they had to escape Mississippi because their parents were scared for them. So the idea of making it, even though a lot of things were more limited for them in that time space, it was a different energy to them. I can't. Maybe sometimes too tough because what happens then during then we go through extremes in the black community, I think. And then there's the baby boomer generation where there is a lot of things happening, a lot of upheaval happening in the world, lots of things changes and stuff like that. And also the community is being integrated into a society they were once segregated from. And then you all have all these other issues that come from slavery that we're not addressing, right? Um, then you have the rise of teen parenting, motherhood, all kinds of things that we're really not addressing as our community. Our community gets more acclimated to the society, we get more integrated into society, but we lose a lot of our strengths. And but we still don't address a lot of our weaknesses either, right? Because there also that we can't ignore that black men in even in the 30s and stuff still have problems with family connections of families and stuff like that because of racism and stuff like that. So there is a lot of things here. And so I think the way we see ourselves in society now, I think some of it we're seeing through scarcity. We're addressing a lot of black men are out here afraid of becoming more. And I think sometimes, and just to say all of that, and I really don't have time to break it all down, but just to say all of that, that why I don't like everything the baddie represents, why I don't like everything that I like but I don't like everything she represents. But I'm gonna tell you, they are creating standards. Whether they're extreme or not, there is a standard. And I think it gives men something to be men. When we as women demand, it's like when you as women demand to, and the same thing with men saying they want to demand more or something like that. When you take care of yourself better, when you're better at being in shape or being, and not being cruel and mean. I'm not talking about the man spirit and even some of the women's spirit. I'm talking about when we have a standard. It doesn't have to, of course, it starts off extreme, but when we start to balance the standard of, hey, this is what I want in a marriage. Marriage, this is this and that. This is what I require. I don't want a man who is not working and laying up on my couch. I have a standard. Okay. And I think I'm not saying to have unrealistic expectations, but I'm saying these are women with standards. And I think they go after certain men whose standards, who's it's different. It's a different lifestyle. It's a different thing. And so I think what we're arguing about is ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know. And I think that sometimes we're arguing from our point of association, how we associate it, what we've seen. And we don't understand that there are these places in the world. And now also I think women, that when you see women who are making that, have that $50,000 lifestyle, when they're getting that money from their people, or they with somebody like that, you need to understand what that woman does in a day. I mean, like, if you need to look at Jeff Bezos' wife. What does she do? What's her name? Lauren? I forget her name. Well, what is it that she do in a day to maintain? What does she do? What does that all entail? It's just not just, you don't just, some of y'all gonna look at that and be like, that ain't nothing I want to do. Okay, because that ain't you for you. And some of y'all trying to jump in lifestyles that are not for you. That's what I would say. Then some of y'all are underestimating yourself too. Okay. So I guess the greater thing is find out who you are. I don't necessarily think the baddies are. I think baddies, what's happening now with a lot of women that are baddies, and we're gonna go on to talk about some more. A lot of women that are baddies are finding themselves, out here, you know, in hard times. So, okay, but let me just say this. Today, women, you have way more opportunity than women did 100 years ago. You do. You have way more opportunity. You don't just have to be the video girl or the Instagram chick. And it's nothing wrong with that. Now, I ain't trying to dog y'all. Y'all who making money out here on the Instagram and you make money off your beauty and stuff like that, I ain't mad at that whatsoever. Shout out. I ain't mad at that. Okay. But I'm saying that sometimes certain things run out after a while. And what I'm trying to say to you girls is that you have more opportunities to be so many things in the world today. And just my opinion to y'all, it would be to be your best version of self. And then you will find that person who is for you. Or if you want that. That's what really being a baddie is, in my personal opinion, is becoming the best version of yourself, not just on the outside, but on the inside too. So let me just go ahead into this what we're gonna move into. Let me just talk about some of this stuff that we seen. Ryan Clark, I'm gonna put him, but you know, I just think I heard him talking, and I just think sometimes, hey, you know, Ryan, let's put it in here, you guys. Y'all had to redo my thing, and all my passwords and stuff are all over the place. Okay. And so, and I'm also telling y'all, if you're a woman who wants all of that kind of energy, you just got to understand that your lifestyle is you gonna have to do a lot. I mean, you're gonna have to. It's just it. I, I, you gotta set your energy. You have to understand what that entails. I think a lot of people want things. They eyes, your eyes are big, but you don't understand what it all like. You get it looks so good, but you don't understand what all it takes to be that. Um, Let me go to here. I hope I made that understandable. I don't know if I did or not, but I tried. From my thoughts point. Okay, I don't know if I want to. Okay, let me play. I played him. He was saying, "Don't be fooled." Let me play this part for you guys to see him talking. Okay, yeah, I gotta log into my. Okay, did we got it up? Okay, okay. Oh, wait a minute, y'all not hearing
and
me. Hold on.
honest. And when it comes to your ability to earn, they want you to
Okay,
work
let me
hard.
play.
They
Right, let me play him again so y'all can hear him.
But I've been seeing these clips going around about how much women need a month to
let me see. I'm not.
dating guru or relationship specialist. But I've been seeing these clips going around about how much women need a month to be with a man, or like what their net worth has to be. And dudes, don't pay no attention to that and be like, see, I told y'all they was like that, because that ain't real life. Hell, most women just want y'all and us to be decent. See, like in the podcast world, we're not going to interview the woman that tells the truth. They just want you to be trustworthy and disciplined and dependable and loyal and honest. And when it comes to your ability to earn, they want you to work hard. They want you to give effort. They want you to be accountable. They want you to be the sort of person that if they work together with you, you can build a life together that's worth more than $100 million or worth more than $6 million a year, because it's yours. And like, let's be honest, dudes who already have that level of net worth and understand that that's what this particular person is looking for, they walk into that knowing exactly how that's going to work out for them and the other person. And if that's what you need, you're either lying to yourself, wishfully thinking out loud, or you done settled, because you don't have that level of earning power. Because if you did, you wouldn't be looking for a man with it. You ain't grow up that way. That's because I know you didn't, because it's only like 3.5.
Well, first of all, most women don't have that. There are a lot of women in society don't have that level of earning power, because a lot of the men still run industries, a lot of that. So, Brian, I disagree with you there.
5 out of 1,000,000 people in the whole world who have that level of net worth. And if somebody's going to spend $6 million on you a year, that means they have to not only net it, have it as disposable income, but disposable income just for you. That ain't real life. So let's be real. Dudes, women want us to stand up for them, to support them, to make them feel safe, to make them feel protected, and to do anything that we can to feed them and our babies. And they just want us to be present. So you can listen to all these folks talking about how much money you need to make. And that's why they're sitting there by themselves doing those interviews, because that ain't real life.
That is not true. That is real life for some women. I disagree with. I agree with Ryan says. For most women, they want decent life, but you're not seeing those women. There are women who live like that. There are men who have the wealth like that. That's just not in your world. You don't see it. And most of these people who are on the comments are sitting up there on the comments saying, yeah, you right, Ryan. That's just agreed. I agree. And blah, 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 blah. But no, that's because you guys are not breaking down the world.
Okay, so I'm no dating guru.
And Ryan, you sound nice for the average everyday person who does just want that. But there are people who are going to live lives that are not the average lifestyle. And the problem is y'all just see it now. Okay. Now I do agree with Ryan that most of those women who are sitting up there on the things now and saying, you know, you need about $50,000 for me a month, $100,000 and all that stuff. Most women, they are probably not. They are most. I told you they're not probably living that lifestyle. No woman is talking about that if she's living like that. That's not unrealistic, but it does happen. You know what I'm saying? What I'm just saying is it doesn't even, it's not your world. And it's okay. Right? It's okay, because there are certain things that cost to be in your world, certain ways. And some of y'all are underestimating y'all self. You know, there are some women I see constantly adjusting themselves, trying to live a certain thing. Trying to not be the I was talking to a person the other day, a woman the other day, and I said, what happened? I said, what happened to you is, I said, you just not for real. You're not showing really who you are. You just constantly adjusting to what people say who you should be. But that, I said, I'm not saying be rude and cruel and mean and stuff, but I'm saying be yourself. Like this person was trying to be something they wasn't. They was because they trying to be what everybody think they should be. But that's where different lifestyles and different humans are made. I remember I had a friend years ago. She never, we was young girls. She never, we went to be like some of us dressed, and back then it seemed silly to us, but she never liked to go to ventures and stuff like that. We'd be buying, and we would even joke because we find her same like jacket. We found a jacket for I remember she had to have this jacket and she worked her butt off, at the um at her job, at her McDonald's job to get it. And we was like, girl, you ain't got to pay no $200 for that jacket or whatever and stuff like that. I said, that's going to go on sale. And about 5 weeks later, it went on sale and stuff like that. But for her, her energy was such, she was never that girl. She liked a certain lifestyle. Now, doesn't mean that she should have, to me, does should she have adjusted at times because she have lived better when we were younger? Yes, but it was speaking a little bit to who she was going to be. Because that same friend of mine now is an accountant and got herself. She the girl. She got restaurants, all kinds of stuff. But that is, you can see a little bit of that in her. If she had adjusted like was telling her to, you can see a little bit of that energy in her already. And it didn't mean she didn't go through rough times. She did. But there was already that energy, a little spark of that in her. You could already see that little bougie. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, I don't want that. But that was speaking a little bit where we thought it was ridiculous, and some of it was. But it was also speaking to the place she was going. And a lot of women and men, a lot of you adjust and adjust and adjust because you don't want to be seen as an outsider. It's just like I said about the woman the other day with the Walmart ring. Okay, when we talked about that with the woman who turned down the guy who bought her a Walmart ring because she said, you knew what I asked, you knew what I wanted. And we didn't see what she wanted because I don't know if she was asking for money or specifics. Okay. I don't know what that, but what I said was that woman was not, there was no playing with it. There was no, either he was going to go back and adjust the ring or he was going to let her go. Because that woman was saying that Walmart ring ain't saying me. That's not who I am. It wasn't about cost. I don't think it was about Walmart. I think it was just about how he picked it. And sometimes women are telling you so. You try. I mean, you have to listen. And most women would have adjusted. Most women would have said, "Oh, you know what? At least he's trying. At least he's this." And knowing in your head that is not the ring you wanted. But you don't want to be perceived in society to being a girl that, oh, I don't want to sound like I'm being this, or I don't want to sound like I'm being that. But sometimes you have to speak for which one. It doesn't mean you can't adjust. It doesn't mean you can't do this, but you want to make sure that somebody is understanding who you are and that you understand who they are. Okay. So, yeah. So, my thing is, everybody doesn't come with a one size. There are a specific group of people who live different lifestyles. Like it's the girl who is out there with you know the girl who what's her name? The one who married Prince Charles. I mean, what's her name? Prince William. Okay, Kate got to be something else. Kate is wearing big time stuff. Okay, because she's married to Prince William. She got to be a certain way. She in a certain energy, a certain lifestyle. You think Kate ain't getting no allowance? Kate is getting an allowance for being Prince William's wife. Okay, she got kids to take care of. She got things to take. It's a different, and they live a different lifetime. They're rulers, royalty. They're the part of the monarchy family in England. Okay, there's different things. Okay, Just like tonight, if you are a woman who is married to a CEO of a company, that's depending on what kind of company it is and how big it is. If it's a huge corporation, that CEO goes to many events. He does a lot of things. Her lifestyle is going to be different than a girl whose husband is working for the CEO. Yeah, we get this. Do we understand this? It's about, yeah, a lot of the stuff Ryan was saying, but it's also about what you're built for. Okay, that's just that's my personal opinion on that. Okay, and I tell women, I think women have to. We're in an age now where you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to figure out what are you built for. Like, so I think a lot of women have gotten married in the past and they've had they've stayed married till death, everything like that, all men and women. And they didn't challenge who they were or challenge their lifestyle or challenge who they could have been. A lot of people settled in to other people's expectations. So now you're living in the world of the internet that gives such unrealistic expectations, but with realistic expectations. So it's somewhere you can, so you now, I just feel like now you're going to have to find more of a balance about life and who you are called to be. Okay. So this is my personal opinion. And if you want that kind of lifestyle, I'm going to just tell you the truth. As a woman, I don't know. There's various things you got to do, but this is what I put. I put up today. This is I'm getting ready to show this video, but it says it says it costs $100,000 a year to date a baddie. Okay, it is various costs to different levels of lifestyles. This is what I said. This is not even a discussion, in my opinion. Why waste time discussing it? But I am wasting time. So, because y'all wasting time. So it says women are usually expensive in a smaller lifestyle. Okay, go on to TikTok and watch the videos of husbands making videos of their wives ordering things from Amazon or ordering stuff like that. And the husbands are like, wow, or when every time their wife go out the house versus them. And remember Bill Cosby, the classic Bill Cosby show where Bill Cosby goes to Theo is going through, his money, and he said, well, I'll be living in New York and I'll need this. And he said, well, you got a girlfriend? And he said, yeah, he take the rest of his money. Because women are an expense, guys. It's expensive to be a woman. Like, I was laughing. I saw this guy the other day putting on he bought some MAC makeup and he was like, how are y'all affording this MAC makeup? How you It is expensive and it's different levels to this shit. Okay. So I said women are usually expensive in a smaller lifestyle, but if you got a big one, it's more costly. It is expensive to be a woman. A baddie is not for you, but for someone who has a different lifestyle where glamour, style, power is an asset to those men. Otherwise, let's stop complaining about this, okay? Because it makes there seem like there is the scarcity mentality, and I don't kind of like it because I just think we're starting to sound like, yeah, even if it's ridiculous to you, okay? Just some people are ridiculous, but if somebody out here want to do it, hey. For y'all.
An
I'm not sharing
event
y'all.
once a week. That's like at least like another.
Okay, it costs $100,000 to date a baddie. Okay. Hold on.
A baddie.
So if we do a weekly.
Okay, and let me tell you, this is from millionaire_mindsets pod. And he was talking about this. And he put, let me put this right here. He put, has prostitution become culture, become mainstream? No, because when we're talking about prostitutes are women who are, and there's even different women considered escorts considered are different from prostitutes or high-end escorts or whatever. But they are women who just strictly have a sexual relationship with you in exchange for money. They don't have anything else going on with you. They just want sex. That's prostitution. Sex in exchange for money. But being a wife, girlfriend, all those things, yes, maybe sex happens in the course of those relationships, but they're also giving time, energy, friendship, love, all these things. And it just requires a lifestyle. That's not prostitution. This is someone who's living with you. Prostitutes are strictly there for sex. Or there's high-end escorts that are there to go with you to a event, and that's that. You know, there's women who do that too. But if you're talking about a woman who is your friend, who's your lover, who's your this and that, that's not prostitution. To want to understand that she has needs and to be taken care of and understand all that stuff. Okay, this is different. Prostitution is different, and prostitution is less hectic because all they can be in and out of there. Okay, so but here I'm listening.
Blowout 120.
Okay.
If she goes to like an event once a week, that's like at least like another 150. So that's like 300.
Yep.
Nails, toes, that's another like say $350, $400.
So we're at like 570.
Like you have like the peptides, which is anywhere between like let's say like $180 to $900 a month. On birth control, then you need like hormone regulation stuff and a semi-glutide. So that's like again like $250 and like $1,000. Oh, therapy. Therapies, I think anywhere between, depending where you go, it's like $300 to $500 a session. Like an astrologist, which is like $350. So Ubers, the experience of an Uber,
XL
or Black.
Ooh.
And then quarterly, you get into Botox anywhere between $1,000 and $1,500. If she gets Trap Tox, that's another like $2,500. If she does full face, it's another $2,500 or $3,000.
Okay.
Equinox.
All right. So on Equinox, it's like what, like $350 a month, $400 a month. Okay. So what, you're looking at $100,000 a year?
Yeah.
Right around there.
Yeah. Definitely.
$100,000 a year.
Notice how dating is framed now. Nothing about building together, not a partnership, but it's a cost of access. And that framing matters because statistically, people misunderstand and overestimate how much men actually earn. Like if you look at the stats, only between 15 to 18% of men earn six figures. And less than 1% of men earn $500,000 or more. Yet, expectations are often built as if high-earning men are everywhere. That illusion.
I feel like you shouldn't even be talking about this, though, as a man. It makes you sound scarce. It's like it makes scarcity happen. Brother, stay in your lane. Then you don't need to have that. You don't need to adjust that woman, because if you adjust that woman and she comes into your life, it's not going to be good, okay? Don't adjust her. You see a woman that living like that, you just say, wow, okay. I mean, she ain't for you. This is a woman talking about peptides. I don't know what that shit is. I'm like, what the hell is that? Peptides, getting peptides. What is that? And, she getting her thing done. This is women who are out in public with men who are really big time. Like I'm not dogging this brother saying he not big time. I'm just saying your lifestyle ain't there. If you complaining about it, your lifestyle ain't there. Them girls ain't for you. Them ain't the chicks for you. It's even rappers don't even do that. They like, woo, okay. But they girls, they do probably have a certain amount of money for certain women to look certain ways around it. I don't know. I can't use rappers. I'm gonna have to use, because sometimes y'all rappers, unless it's Puffy or somebody, Jay-Z or something. I'm talking about when you're talking about men who are moguls or things like that, they require women to look certain ways. It looks expensive to you. You be like, wow, man, it costs a lot. That's all you need to say. But that ain't for me. I can't afford that, girl. You can't afford that. That ain't for you. I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't even be sitting here complaining, because I'm just saying the energy that it sounds like. I want brothers to be understanding, because what I want you to do is, if that is the type of girl you want, if that's the type of woman you want, if that's the type of woman you desire, you're going to have to lift your lifestyle up. That's the straight up truth. And what does that mean? That's not bad for you. If you want a certain way of living. You know what I'm saying? But it just depends on who God called you to be. These girls ain't for you. Okay, what is pep?
It creates a perception gap. People
get like I was talking about my little manicures and pedicures. Shit, I know some women who was telling me they manicures and pedicures be costing them $2 or $3. I said, where the hell y'all going? Where y'all doing y'all pedicure? Where the hell y'all? My nails look just look good. Listen, it just depends. It depends. And then once you stay, like now, it's not to dog people in my atmosphere, okay? But if my atmosphere changes, if all of a sudden I'm a big celebrity, I'm a big star, everything is going to change. My lifestyle is going to change. If I'm a big celebrity, not just a big celebrity, but I'm a big celebrity, and now I've just been in my first movie and I made $20 million in this movie. Everything is going to change. Even if I don't want it to change, I can sit out here and try to find the cheapest thing. I bet everybody goes up on me. People I've been going around for years and years and being cool with and doing my nail. I gotta ask her. I know she gonna go up. Everybody gonna go up. My hair person gonna go up. My nail person, because now they know I made $20 million. They know I'm a star. They know they gotta do extra on my hair. They know they gotta make sure that when they do my hair, I gotta have the proper. Now I can't be at the wig store playing around with different styles. Now I gotta be making sure my shit is on point. Because now I gotta go to the Oscars. Or now I gotta go to the Grammys. So glamour is important. Fellas, that's what's going on. A lot of men who are dealing with baddies, certain girls like that, it is a plus to them to have a certain beautiful woman on their arm. I just saw this the other day, a man who was talking about, a CEO guy or somebody, he was talking about how it pays for them sometimes. Sometimes the beautiful woman is the talk of the room. And it gives them status to other men. When men see their woman, they like, oh shit, that's how they got her. And remember Beyonce, let me upgrade your automatic page, switch your necktie to purple labels, upgrade your. What's Beyonce talking about? Let me upgrade. What's Beyonce talking about? Hey, she talking about I can be. Jay-Z's like, I'm the upgrade. She said, no, I'm the upgrade. Like, I can switch your necktie to purple labels, upgrade. She like, hey, listen, it ain't no build together. It's an upgrading situation. Okay, you think they needed one? You think she kind of upgraded Jay-Z, but Jay-Z now is way up there. Okay, so what? You think she ain't got no maintenance to keep herself up? What? Maintenance to be when she going out to dinner with the head of Rock Nation or Live Nation, the fuck, I don't know, head of somebody, and they gotta talk business. You know how it softens the room when Beyonce come in there looking angelic and bad and beautiful, and everybody like, wow, that's Beyonce. You know how much of a leverage that is for fucking Jay-Z? It's big ass leverage. Don't know how to use the women y'all got. Some of y'all gone. Some of y'all shouldn't even be. Some of these girls in the wrong situation. Okay, I'm gonna tell you some of you girls right now. Some of you girls right now, y'all done found out that y'all is fine. Okay, leverage it. Okay, leverage that shit within that marriage. Leverage it. Turn it around. Be a Tracy Edmonds. But that's another story I'm about to get to in a second. And what I mean being Tracy Evans is leverage the power in that situation, okay? I'm just trying to tell you, when you want more, do what you got. If you that girl, listen, you married and you say, you know what? Listen here, Carlotta, I done figured out that, I'm really a baddie. I just, okay, well, leverage where you at, baby. But I'm saying to you fellas, quit complaining. I don't like to hear black men complain about this, because I know even most, and I don't want to compare. I always hate to compare black men to other groups of men and white males and stuff like that. But I'm just going to say other groups of men who are wealthy and not morally imbalanced. I'm not saying that, which a lot of them are, but some of them are not. Look at men do you hear them? A lot of them don't even complain. That's a giving in their world. They understand what a beautiful, charming, smart, well-cultured, brilliant woman brings to the table, and they're willing to pay for it. Some of them, because it ain't enough, there are women that, I hate to say this is horrible, but there are some men who go there. I just watched a few years ago. I watched an intriguing show on the was it on Netflix? And it was a true story about a girl who was a high-end prostitute in London and her lifestyle. And there were men who would hire her because she's well cultured. She could do different things, blah, 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 not just for sex. They will hire her to go on dates and stuff because it added to them in a room. She knew how to talk to people. She knew how to move. And then you get some of these men, they'll scoop you up and they'll send you to school, baby. They'll send you to get some courses in to learn another language. Okay, I'm just trying to tell you, it did, because these men, if they like you, but if you're that on your own, then you will be a value, a high ass, and you can't do that. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, these women, them women who are asking for that, they are not being shown on the internet, most of them. Okay, that other girl was out there, she's out there trying to trick real quick, trying to see if she can get it. That's my personal opinion of what I showed y'all yesterday. But most women ain't talking about it. This woman is just describing how those women live.
I think men earn more than they do, and there are more high earners than what actually exists. And when the majority is,
why y'all should just listen here. Ain't that many men out here to make that much money. Just how you sounding. You know, it's only a certain amount of us. We only make this amount, and is it just become a prostitution? No, it's not that, brother. They ain't for you. That group ain't for you. That group is over there dealing in on the yacht with some ruler or some guy high end. They not in your. That's not for you. It ain't nothing wrong with that. Just say, hey, that ain't how we over here. You know, just say that. Or that ain't what I choose to do.
Aiming for a very small group of men. The math gets ugly, and then there's a lot of sharing that has to take place. But that's a conversation for another day. But now listen to the language again. She said the cost to date. That's not a wife, not a fiance. That's not even someone that you're in a committed relationship with. That's important because when dating is framed around what it costs to access someone, that's not relational language.
Well, and then again, I would say to this brother that is because she is talking about men who are high value men. Okay. What she's saying is when these men do lock on and do get serious about somebody and they start the date and they're dating for a long period. A lot of these men end up dating several different women. Okay. They're dating all kinds of women. But when they lock into one person, there's a person they want to take all the time somewhere. There's a person they want to go to Turks and Caicos. There's a person they want to this and that. There's a person they want to do that with. There's a person they want to go hang out with and stuff like that. There's a person they want. So it's a lot of times that woman's structure becomes them. And so she needs to be taken care of. That's a whole nother thing. It's not you. It ain't you, but it ain't you. Even for men that sometimes they have your wife is at home and staying at home or this and that. Okay, she got to operate on the level you on. She can't be asking for Jeff Bezos talking about I need my $50,000 a month. She know damn well that you don't make nothing but $20,000. Okay, we that's unrealistic. But for these girls out here, that's like you said, there's a small percentage of men out there that only make that much money. Well, there's a small percentage of women that go with those types. Other people out here is the Lulu. Okay, they playing games. A lot of them, you find out, girl, you ain't even got no code. You don't even know how to say. You don't even know how to spell. Like some of these, you don't even know what's going on in the world. How you trying to ask a man with 50? You don't even know. You can't even talk good about what's happening in the news. Okay, we're talking about men. When we start talking about $50,000 a month, you got to be talking about rulers of industry. Rulers and well-to-do, really, like we talking about a high end. We talking about a big up there. Okay, so we don't even got to have these discussions. Okay, this ain't argument. Everybody else saying that's Delulu. They playing games because they ain't did the work. Because most women that are doing that ain't talking about it. Okay, you think I be telling y'all if I was getting $50,000 a month from a man? Hell no, I wouldn't be on there telling nobody. I be too busy bad minding my business. I be out there on the I be too busy doing my business. I ain't gonna be out here on the internet talking about I require $50,000 a month. I blah blah blah. I ain't gotta say that because I've already been exposed to the crew I need to be exposed to. I ain't gotta sell my shit. That's how you know this a Delulu. Delulu. Or she hoping to catch somebody to buy it. She hoping to get her one of them rappers, New Money. That's what she hoping to get, New Money. A lot of black men who tend to be liking them girls, the exoticals, and they fool y'all that y'all end up spending your whole savings on them girls. She hoping to catch one of y'all. Okay, New Money. Okay, she don't look. Old money don't roll like that, or money of industry. If money of industry is rolling like that, they probably just using her for rolling in the haze and stuff like that. They ain't taking her out probably no too much. You know, she might just be for a whole night. That's a whole day on the yacht. You know what I'm saying? But for when they serious and who they bringing around, their business partners and people like that and stuff like that, and they get really, they really getting 50,000 a month. They quiet. They moving in silence.
Which that's transactional language. And that logic, it doesn't come from marriage or long-term relationships. That comes from
marriage is transactional, brother. It is. I don't know what people are talking about here. It takes a lot it's a partnership. And everybody has their different things they do within it. And that's the same
prostitution logic, access in exchange for provision. And what's changed is that prostitution culture, it didn't stay on the margins.
Prostitution does not ask you to be provisional. That's not what prostitution culture is. I disagree with him completely. Prostitution is will you pay for my services? And my services just happen to be sexual. Or my services is escorting. I am not asking you to stay with me the whole time. I'm not asking you to be in a lifestyle with me, to live with me, to sleep with me, to have children with me. Why y'all keep calling this prostitution? That is not prostitution. Prostitution is women providing a certain sexual access, and that is usually it. Women now who are saying, hey, I require because I have a lifestyle, we're getting ready to live a life together. We're getting ready to be together. Being with you, depending on who you are, is a lot. Being with me requires a certain thing. So let's come to the table and see what that looks like. And that does not often you even have to explore, not only are you exploring who the person is as a person, just a person and their merits and of themselves, their lifestyle, what they do, who they are, their morals, their character, their values. But then you also have to explore finances. It ain't romantic, but it's the fucking truth. And that is not a prostitute. Now, some women are like, hey, they see you might be a nice guy. You might have it going on and stuff like that, a little bit going on, but they're like, hey, I have a different vision for myself. All right, that ain't no diss towards you. That means you just say, hey, I ain't in her world like that. That ain't personal. Don't take it personal. Don't be calling it a prostitute. That's not a prostitute. That's just a woman saying, coming into your lifestyle won't help me where we won't work together. Okay. Why? Because I don't make enough money. Essentially, yeah. Like I'm looking for this. I feel like I'm this. Don't take it personally. I just think me and you should just be like, okay, you ain't in my league, sis. I ain't got $50,000 a month, sis, to give you. It's crazy. But there are some great women who don't require that. I'm like, what the fuck y'all spending $50,000 a month? I wouldn't get it, but I ain't married to Jeff Bezos. If I was married to Jeff Bezos, I'd be like, shit, well, look how she probably even looking like $50,000 a month. Shit. No, I doubt it. No, she understand because her lifestyle has gotten extremely expensive. Everybody knows that she's Jeff Bezos' wife. So everything is going to be charged to the hilts. I mean, we got to quit being stupid around here. We got to stop comparing everybody to the life we've seen. Okay? I respect it. I understand it sounds ridiculous to us, but it's not really.
It went mainstream from the music to social media, dating apps, and lifestyle branding. So now you have regular people talking about traditional relationship frameworks, but using prostitution logic without even realizing.
No, I think what's happened is that, and I agree with him on a certain point, that some people are using unrealistic expectations. They are not that, trying to be that. But I do appreciate that there are women now with more standards because they've been exposed to other things. There are women now saying, well, you know what? Listen, I just graduated from this. I did this. I'm working real hard as this person and this. I want a certain type of lifestyle. So I'm looking for this type of person. They're starting to put a look on value systems. Okay. That's not prostitution. Please don't compare prostitution because they're not women out here. Now, prostitution is when women are just saying sex is all you get. Or if I'm a high-end escort, you get maybe sex and time. In terms of outside, I may go to an event with you and nobody knows who I am. You are asking for a specific, because there are high-end prostitutes in the world who are you're asking for a specific brand. But some men don't want to deal with dating. So there are some men, I hate to say it, it's some high-end men out here who go call up. They got specific women. They want to go to the award shows with them, a little different things. You don't know who the fuck they are. You don't know nothing about them. They high-end hookers. And they don't have no attack. That's why everybody should watch that story about that woman in London. That it was a true story. She wrote a story about her being it was a series on for, I think it lasts 3 to 4 seasons. And she talked about being a high-end hoe, which was very different from a prostitution, a high-end escort. Because what she did is she dated these men for events and different things, but sometimes would have sexual relationships with them. The exchange was clear, and it was only for a brief time. It was not a marriage or and you still in those things there is a form that you have to express that. So I respect this. Y'all check this out, Millionaire Mindset Pod. He's very interested in some of the things he had to say. I just happen to disagree with some of it, but I think that sometimes we shouldn't even have to discuss it because it's just people living on a different lifestyle. And I know and I think just in saying it, I know you're saying regular people are wanting that. Well, just ignore them. You don't. If a regular girl is running around here talking about, she a bird, and she's sitting up here talking about, I want $35,000 a month to be with me. And you don't even gotta you don't even gotta argue with no chick. Because most women who want that lifestyle ain't saying that. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. Listen, women, I'm going to just tell you some girls out here. You know how you inspire men to be, you don't really got to say it. You ain't got to say it. The men can just see you when you walk in the door. If a man's seeing you wearing certain things and you just, he already know. He like, oof. Man, I went out with that girl the other night, man. She had on red bottoms. She had blah, 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 blah. I know I gotta step it up, or this might not be my thing. She's saying she going to after the weekend to Turks and Caicos with her. And then next week she going to Europe. You know what I'm saying? You already know she high end, okay? You already know. So you ain't sitting here playing no games with yourself. You just be like, shit, I'm just up here, shit, I'm just trying to get my feet out the ground. And she like, okay, she trying to be okay with that, but you know that she ain't okay with that. And she asking you every week to go, hey, can we go to Dubai? Can you pay for me to go to this and that? And you like, I ain't got that. You working at Church Chicken? You like, man, unless she helping you out. You the manager of Church Chicken, you know you can't afford that. Unless you done invested well or something for a while. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to tell y'all, okay? This all this we ain't even got, you ain't gonna even argue that. Some of you see you coming, okay? All right, let's move on to the next thing. I'm a girl. I like a good deal. You know what I'm saying? But who am I? We going on to Carucci. And speaking of Carucci, and now I'm gonna switch it up. It's gonna sound like almost like this is look at Carucci. Y'all was cracking me up in these comments talking about Carucci looking like she wait a minute, I gotta read some of the comments. DL Sanders and Carucci share what they love about each other. First of all, I'm just gonna say this. It's problematic that y'all gotta make a video. But I understand y'all in the entertainment world. But let me this is yeah, what it said, it says somebody said, I love this why people behaving for so bad. Sis got her old head. That's my type of carrying on or something. I know what he said. She keep rubbing that back. She waiting to be put on that insurance policy. Hair is giving coastal rich grandma. She got an old head and sat down. Someone said he got her in a roller set and a 2-piece set from TJ Maxx. I swear I hate y'all. Okay, let me just say this, okay? Oh, I just thought about that. A 2-piece. Somebody said 2-piece set from TJ Maxx. Y'all funny as hell. Okay, I wouldn't doubt if she doing that with Dion. Dion is something different. Dion is a dude. Let's play this first. Okay, let me play this little video so y'all can hear it. This little video they up here on.
She's sweet as sugar. The brown bag of sugar that we grew up with. You know, you look out for a lot of folks, especially your family, but you make certain, not sure, you make certain I'm straight. Like everything, like on point. You make sure I got what I need, I got what I want, and I'm straight.
Okay, now I want y'all to hear that.
Dot the I's and cross the T's. And I like that.
I love how you.
Okay, before I get into Carucci, did you hear what Dion said? This is my personal opinion, and just hearing that, I could be all the way wrong, and I respect if I'm all the way wrong. I'm using this because I want to help other young girls out there. If you're thinking about considering dating an old man, just the older man, are you considering this and that? First of all, they're both of age, okay? They're both of age, and that's their business. Carucci's in her late 30s. He's in his 50s. Okay, almost 60. Okay. And sometimes these older relationships happen and they're good. There's age gap relationships and they're good. Like of a smart age, a decent age, not somebody, you know what I'm saying? But this is what I will say, okay? Dion just said, I'm gonna play it again. Let me play it again. Okay, because I wanna make sure I heard it right. I'm just gonna say it from my point of view, and I could be either way wrong. But let me just tell my point of view what I'm hearing.
About her that they should know. She's sweet as sugar. The brown bag of sugar that we grew up with, you know. You look out for a lot of folks, especially your family, but you make certain, not sure, you make certain I'm straight. Like everything, like on point. You make sure I got what I need, I got what I want, and I'm straight. You dot the I's and cross the T's.
Okay, so Dion, what I heard him say is that she's sweet as sugar. She's a lot like Tracy. Tracy gives sweetheart vibes. She reminds me a lot of Tracy in her personality energy. Okay, but I'm going to tell you the difference in a minute. But Dion went on to say, she makes sure I got everything I want. She makes sure I got all my I's is crossed and my T's is dotted. Because what's happened? You know what's happened? Carucci, Dion has become her job. Dion's her job now. Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. listen, ain't nothing wrong with that. If you getting ready, you married to him and stuff like that, and your job has become here. I ain't mad at women, married women, you making, and your job, your husband, okay? Are you? She not married to him yet, is she? I don't know. But if that happens, I'm not mad at that. But her job has become Dion, okay? Now, what is the difference that why he never sit down and Tracy did nothing like that? You know why I think? I'm gonna tell you why. Tracy, first of all, had her own money. She already got her money from Babyface. And Tracy is a chick that is about expanding your kingdom. Okay, I'm telling you the difference now. Okay, I'm telling you the difference. When Tracy came in on Dion, I remember Dion had a reality show. Tracy was still doing business, trying to put on shows and stuff. Matter of fact, Carucci was in one of Tracy's productions. Because Tracy is that girl. She ain't got time all day to be sitting around all day with Dion, babysitting Dion, because that ain't her lifestyle. But Carucci started off being somebody's girlfriend. Now, I don't know Carucci's background. All I know, I went to her website and I saw she doing what all the girls is doing. They selling Sephora and Ulta and chicken beads and all that. And ain't nothing wrong with that, because you can make a lot of money from that. If you do it right, you can make a lot of money. I need to learn out here how to do, what is them things? Be a style girl on the shoe. Get some little extra coin up here. Put some shoes out there and what I'm wearing today and all that stuff. Okay, yes, but Carucci, it ain't that money she was probably making up on that show. What's that show she was on? But what's her name? That was probably good money. 10, 15, especially when Chris Brown, because she came in being somebody's girlfriend. She didn't come in like she wasn't coming in Carucci the actress. She came in being Chris Brown's girlfriend. Chris Brown gave her a start point. Now, I don't know if her family got money or not, but she came in as somebody's girlfriend, okay? Chris was probably paying for a lot of stuff. And then she went on, she was dating another football player or something like that, a situation like that. She was dating and then she started working in Hollywood. She actually became an actress, okay? She started being on a show. She was actually kind of good on the show, okay? Very good. But then that role went away. You ain't seen Carucci too much here and there, but you seen her here and there. I'm just trying to, I'm telling you what my suspicion. I could be completely wrong. Okay, the work dried up. She got time now for a dude like Dion. Dion, who is being married to 3 wives. He said, how many wives does Dion have? 2 wives and a possible. Tracy, you done ran through it. You look at his history, look at his background, read his background. Ain't nobody got to tell you he was running through him. Okay, he was doing good. Listen what the other wife, well, it was a tumultuous divorce. Then Tracy, sticking around for 10 years, her mama knew it. Her mama knew it. That's all I want to say. But now he done got, he done had a lot of health issues, okay? He done got a lot softer. Now this old head after running through women and running through relationships and stuff is ready to settle down. He ready. You give me what I want. You give me what I need. And Carucci just tired. Carucci probably out tired of how he's working and hustling. And Dion, she looked up on Dion. Like I said, she looked up on Dion. Okay. And she don't genuinely like Dion. Dion's likable. Dion's a likable guy. I'm just saying, I see what it is, okay? And y'all see she dressing older and stuff like that. Okay, what y'all saying? What Carlotta? What you saying? I'm saying, hey, good for Carucci. Live life, do what you gotta do, boo. Okay, everything comes with a price, though. And see, everything was about him. He said, "I take you, good care of me. You take care of me. You good to me. You good to me. You dry out my eyes and good teeth. You make sure I'm all right. You make sure everybody all right." That tells me a lot about Carucci. Carucci is a selfless. So was Tracy, I think, but Tracy was working. Let's listen to the rest.
Yeah, I like that.
I love how you love and support those around you, and you always want to involve.
I love how you love and support
your people, whether it's your son, your kids, me, your sister, Bea, your mom. anybody that you know and love, and want to take care of. You're always supporting them in different ways that you know that they like their strengths. I also love how real you are.
Bucky, can you, right when she said that, can you put a Morgan hit in there?
I don't want to say how like regular you are, because you're not regular, but just like down to earth, and like all these like materialistic things and all these things that you experience, like you like your peace. So I just love.
There is nothing down to earth about Deion Sanders. He's a Leo. There is nothing down. He was about to brag on himself. What you say? Child, please. Ain't nothing down to earth about Deion's ass. Okay? Down to what earth? Okay. But anyway.
How at peace and in tune you are with yourself.
Don't know.
Deion is a support system, so you already see that. She's understanding what her job is. Okay, we can hear this in a few minutes if y'all listening closely instead of saying, "Oh, yes, so sweet." It's okay. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay, but my thing, I would ask a young girl like Karuchi. I would ask a girl like Karuchi, because you over there looking like you. I mean, you 30. What is she? 38. I mean, you looking like you 50 right now. I mean, she's beautiful, but still, you looking like you 50. Like you. This is a time in your life. I don't know. The youthful energy. He looks a little youthful. He look like, see, that's what I'm talking about, the energy. Look at him. He over there with the gold chain on and the baseball cap. And look at her ass in a grandma sweater, the little shirt, looking kind of conservative. What you saying, Carlotta? I'm saying this in energy shifting going on. And it always is energy shifting in relationships, okay? But I'm just saying it's a little bit of energy shifting, okay? He looking youthful over there, okay, Karuchi, and you looking a little older, because why? Your job is him now. And at 38, are you ready for that? When you've been with dudes like Chris Brown, I don't know. What would I tell Karuchi? I don't know, but I'm gonna tell you girls, okay? Karuchi doing her life, and Karuchi, hey, if that's how it go, I respect it. I ain't mad at it. Everybody got a job. You got a job. When you married, it's a job. Your spouse will be a job for real. It be both ways. But I don't know if they married. She just dating, and I don't like to see her dating. You in your 30s and you dating a man in his 50s, and you look the older one, and he's over there with a gold chain on and his hat on. I look at all that, okay? Now, what I'm going to say to Karuchi is it seems like there is a siphoning of energy going on, but the siphon of energy is he's getting a lot of energy, good energy from you. And what is it doing to you? That you may love him and you may care for him and you may like him. What I would say to Karuchi is don't stop dating him. Definitely keep dating him, enjoy, and see if this is somebody for you. It could be. But what I would say to Karuchi, this is a great time right now while you got the support system to really explore who you are as a woman. Don't invest everything into just being Deion's. If that's what you want to do, that's your business. But I just sense there's a girl who's been through a lot. I do. I really do. I can sense that there's a girl who's been through a lot. And sometimes it's just easy to settle into something because we're just more out or we're just tired. But I would just say this, you have the support system of Deion, and it seems like you guys have a great relationship, friendship, or whatever it is. But I would tell you to start exploring who you are and who you are in the world and how you're supposed to appear in the world. Because every time Karuchi has shown up in public, it's been through a man, except for that time she was on that show. So every time we've seen her and there's some women who's meant to do this. There's some women, hey, I ain't knocking that. I just feel like there's something else from her. There are some women who marry into fame and marry into different things and stuff like that. But Karrueche's lifestyle, what I noticed about Karrueche is only Chris Brown. There was Chris Brown, and there was that other guy. It's always somebody carrying her. And then, but where I saw her brightness at, and you saw her showing up on the red carpet, and she looked bright and vibrant and very youthful and everything. This man, I'm gonna tell you this, Karrueche. This man already done had 3 families. What is it? Two families. Yeah, he done had 2 families. Okay, he already got a lot of kids. Okay. Now, if that's what you want to go and give him another set of family and all that, that's your business. I'm just saying you got to look at I pay attention to all of that. I'd be like, okay, he done had 2 families. He had, but right now is a good space for you. You in a good space with him. Okay, right now. Okay, take this opportunity. This is where I say for you to find out, is this really you? Are you in the business now of taking care of Dion? If that's really you, beautiful. More power to you. It's gonna be a great room. Wish you the best. But is it just that you still hoping to be an actress? You still hoping to do this? If that's so, then I need you to start going back to acting school. Because it seemed like you was bright when you was doing that stuff, when you was showing up on red carpets on your own, you was doing this. It seemed like there was some bright accountness about you that I'm not seeing. I'm seeing a little girl that's kind of like tired now. You know, it's like, I'm out here with Deanna, taking care of Deanna. It's just, Okay, while you got that support system behind you, see what happens when you start becoming your best version of yourself. And if you still want to be with Dion, and if Dion still want to be with you, then great. But be the best version of yourself. This is what I'm telling you girls out there. Be the best version of yourself you can be. Some of you now, you might be in marriages, you might be in relationships, whatever you in. Start to work towards the best version of you. It's gonna tell the story. If you're not sure you in life, you're like, I don't know, Carlotta, I'm living with somebody, I don't know. Then shine your light bright right now, so everybody can see who you are. Now, Carlotta, what do you think would happen if Karrueche does that? I think Karrueche would not be with Dion. Okay, I'm gonna just tell you the truth. That's my personal opinion. Now, she could prove me wrong. Karrueche could prove me wrong as hell. Okay, she could be like, nah, I really like him. It's really like that. He really like me. It's really like that. I want to see what Dion does if she becomes if she becomes a bright actress or whatever or bright within her own thing, where if she's not 24/7 taking care of him or at his beck and call. Would you get the same results as Tracy? So you got to call people out. You know why? Because what I'm sensing when I looked at that, and when I saw y'all had to put that out there, what I'm sensing, it's okay. I understand you a public couple and stuff like that. But what I'm sensing there is I'm seeing a man who's looking youthful, and I'm seeing a girl who's looking older. And who's actually the younger counterpart. Okay. And I'm also seeing her doing this, and she's not even allegedly is not even his wife yet. So that tells me that even though there is a comfort there and there's a sense of, oh, I'm in my comfort, what I would say to young ladies is, what stage in life are you at? Does this man make sense for the stage of life that you're in? And recognize that this isn't just an older man with like he's had very little things going on. This is an older man who's got 2 sets of children already, 2 sets of family. He got 3 or 4 kids already. And so you're gonna be asked if you decide to have a baby, he's gonna start all over with you. That's gonna be the 3rd set. I would be looking at all that. I say don't get pregnant. Don't get pregnant. Till you know for sure. And even though these men out here, I know the man upstairs, she's 30-some years down. Please, okay? There's a lot of men out here who got a better, got a lot of, that you can get at 38, 37, 30. That's not true, okay? And maybe she's feeling that. Maybe she's feeling like this is it. I just feel like I see a countenance that's very different than I saw when the girl who was, and maybe we're just more settled, you never know. But I feel like, I don't know if that's, I'm
About her that they should know. She's sweet as sugar. The brown bag of sugar that we grew up with, You look out for a lot of folks, especially your family. But you
That's what I say, okay? Girls, do the work. Do the work. Okay? Sometimes this might be a temporary thing, or it might be a permanent thing. But if it's a temporary thing, bounce off of it. Don't just let it be. Girl, you need to be studying right now. You need to be in school. You need to be doing something with it. Starting a business. I don't know. I don't know. But I wonder if you become more successful, would he still like you? Because it sounds like everything he said, was, she take care of me. She got my dad. And then she said, he's supportive of everybody. He support. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. If that's the dynamics of the relationship, I'm not mad at that at all. There's nothing wrong with that. But my thing is, I want more women, because what happens is women will find themselves in their, like, did I make it? Did I give away energy I needed for myself to become the best part? Because what I'm saying with this young lady is, this isn't a young lady who's entered the field and did something powerful in and of herself. Every time she's been connected with a guy, and there's only been one time, a celebrity guy, and there was only one time that it looked like to me that it was only one time that she was doing stuff for herself and on her own. And I'm not saying that women can't be taken care of. That's a beautiful thing. I love a woman that got a nice life, a soft girl era. But what I'm saying is, who is this man gonna feel different about you if you were that actress? I'm saying what I'm saying to all you young girls out there who's trying to get these old heads, and you just trying to go because you tired of working and everything like that. I'm tired. I just want to give me some of these old men, take care of me and stuff like that. Okay, that's great. But make sure that's all you want to do. Other than that, you need to show these people who you gonna be. Don't give up on your greatest version of yourself to be less than to somebody else, or to let somebody siphon off of that energy, because that's energy you could be using right now to become your greatest version of self. Now, if this was a young guy and he didn't have, I'm not even say a young guy. If he was an older guy and he was, healthy and he was moving different, he's this and that. And he didn't seem like he was so, the energy. She still seemed like she could be youthful, looked like she was in her 30s. Our early 40s, I would have been like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I would have been like, okay, that's cute, because he's not siphoning energy from her. But what I'm seeing is a dude, an old ass Negro there in the cap. It's nothing wrong with a baseball cap and a chain, but he looked youthful and she's looking older. So I just wonder what's real here. That's just my only opinion on that. Okay, that's all. I just might give my opinion, but this might be the best couple ever. Okay, ain't no hate, ain't no shade. Do what you got to do. Sometimes you got to do what you got to know when to hold, know when to fold. know when to walk away, know when to run. Hey, she at the gambling table right now. You never count your money. You're sitting at the table. She ain't counting her money. I understand, Carucci. You at the gambling table right now. What's Carucci's side? What's Carucci? Let me look up Carucci. See what we dealing with up in here. Where is Carucci as astrology? And why I say that is because a lot of women haven't been able to examine who they are as a person. They haven't been able to examine. They've always been that side piece to a guy. Their beauty has allowed them access and entryways into famous places and famous things and stuff. And sometimes they haven't exercised the power of the beauty. And because they've entered so easily, when it came time to do the hard work, it's hard to do that because, okay, wait a minute. I'm just seeing what's this birthday? Is that right? Hold up. I'm about, let me tell y'all right. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Is that the right birthday? Hold on. If that's the right birthday, then I'm about to tell you what's going on here. Is that right? Is that her right birthday? Child. Okay. This is a Taurus. Okay. Taurus don't care. They just want some food and a nice life. They work real hard when they got to. A lot of y'all now the high-end Taurus girls who don't want to depend on nobody, they be like, hell no, I'm working hard. But this right here, I see what's going on here. Okay. This is okay. Jazzy. Who says this is Jazzy? Okay. Yep. Taurus. Yeah. She's a practical girl, but they like comfort. They really do. They really don't want to be, they really don't. Tauruses do believe in working hard, but they love luxury. And if they can get it an easy way, they will go for it. Okay. Even if it means denial of self sometimes. Depends on what kind of Taurus you are. Okay. Taurus women love being pampered. Okay. No, that's real talk. Most Taurus women will work real hard if they have to if they have to get that lifestyle by themselves, okay? But the dark-sided Taurus girl will give up herself for a lifestyle. Most women will, but a lot of women will. Not all women, but Taurus women definitely, okay? Okay. And sometimes they can misjudge where that comfort is. So yeah, I'm not. This makes sense, okay? Because I know she's a Taurus now. Okay, I need one of these astrologists to do a video on Dion and Carucci. Okay, thank you. Because Dion's a Leo. Okay, he flamboyant. He all of it. He out there in them streets. Okay, he can't be out there in them streets now because the light. It done got slower. It didn't slow down. He getting old now. Okay, the medical stuff done. You know what I'm saying? And Taurus girls definitely know how to hit licks when they need to. Okay. And I'm not saying this is what this is. Taurus girls can appreciate. If one girl can appreciate an older man with some money, good money, and a good lifestyle, it's a Taurus girl. Now, what I want her to do is not get so caught up on the lifestyle, eating and drinking, because Dion is an unstable motherfucker. He's been through 2 marriages already and one possible he kept for 10 years, around for 10 years, okay? And no matter how much he's acting crazy about you and everything, I don't know if the health get a lot better and stuff, how you going to be rolling. So what I suggest to her is at this time in her life, yes, keep paying attention to Dion, keep, doing that Taurus charm. But also, shit, be going, trying to go back to school, get your business on, try to be making connections up in that area and stuff like that. Girl, keep your eyes open. I just can't do it. You got a whole trot on her. Let's see. Can we find her whole chart? I don't know, but I know somebody on the internet probably got it. Let's see. I know they do. You see. Oh, they do got it. Whoa, yeah, Karuchi. What's that Venus in? Cancer. Okay, so she wants to be comfortable. Now, the concerning 2 things, that Venus in Cancer, she does have a Venus in Cancer, so she's drawn to relationships. I'm not surprised about the older man choice. The concerning parts for Dion is that Moon in Gemini and that Mercury in Gemini. Chiron in Gemini. Yeah, man. She can spark up on you, though. She is, oh, no, that's not her thing. That's not her disposition of the planets. Let me see what's her, her sun is in Gemini. Her Mercury's in Pi. Okay, sun. What's her sun in? Yeah, she's a very interesting. I can definitely see the older guy. She just wants to be comfortable. She tired. Okay. Now, if probably there was a guy like Chris Brown that had his stuff together and his mindset right, she probably jumped to it in 5 seconds. But this is what she's feeling in her life. She wants comfort. She wants her, yeah, I'm looking at it. This chart is interesting. Okay, yeah, I'm not surprised about the older man. Okay. Dion, though, she could break your heart. That's all I'm going to say on that. Okay. That's where I could see that happening. Okay. There's that. All right. All right. Moving on. Dion could get his heart broke. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened either. All right. Let's see. What's the next story we got to talk about? Okay. Did we talk about hypersexual males? I think we'll talk about this. And this will be the last thing I'll talk about. Mona from I like her. I like her a lot. She cracks me up. Mona from Joe Budden. So I heard she's not on Joe Budden show or not anymore, but she was so good when she was on there. But Mona telling the truth? But she said something I thought was interesting on the show. So let me play it.
Now, Monty, what do you think about this?
What's your thoughts, B?
I just want your input on the story.
What do you think about what she just said? so let me.
What do you think?
That I've noticed just in general these last 10 years, guys that are fuck everything, they always gay or they're molesters. It's something wrong with somebody that's fucking constantly and they don't slow down.
Monty, what do you think about this?
What's
When
your
you in
thoughts,
your
B?
20s,
I just want your input on the story.
I'm dead up. When
Hold on,
niggas
hold on,
are
what do you think about what she just said? So let me answer this the way as I should.
If you needed that freaky off,
Let me answer it. No, let me answer it for him. Guys.
He's not freaky. He's a singer.
Guys. I would like y'all to know.
I know the type of day it's gonna be in here.
I would like y'all to know
I'm excited.
that I would enjoy to. I would enjoy to entertain the jokes that you guys are doing, but I'm trying to move in a different way, in a different path. So I would like to not be presented as the guy that's just out here throwing my dick around any longer.
Fair enough.
Thank you, and I appreciate it.
Therapy, you lost your job. Beat out too. We don't go to therapy. We don't heal. We don't grow. We are ignorant.
You can't evolve, right?
Ignorance. You are not welcome to change and grow and shit.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching the pod right now, what's happening is Imani is slow rolling out a new relationship.
I'm not slow rolling out anything.
Oh, I guess it ain't slow. It's all over the Instagram.
I'm not slow. I'm not hard launch.
Man, bitches up, hoes down. The bitch don't listen. She forced to drizz down, nigga. Gorilla pimping. That bitch don't get on the block. She getting popped in her lip, nigga.
Yeah,
hey, Imani. Your head harder than mine, bitch. Shit. Oh my God, I knew it was warmer in here. Hey. That glow, that illuminated the room. I thought it was. And I've noticed.
Okay.
Just in general, these last 10 years, guys that are fuck everything, they always gay or they're molesters. It's something.
I have to say that I do think hypersexual men have problems with sexuality. I agree with Mona on this. I agree. There's a lot of times with those men, if you pay attention, if they're just out here doing everything and everybody, they don't have no sexual they don't have no certain things not a healthy sexual lifestyle when you're in your 20s, but if they're just out here just screwing anything, I am trying to tell you, I agree that hypersexual males probably have a problem somewhere in their sexuality. I totally agree with that. Or those are men who have had severe childhood trauma and they have the potential to be molesters, issues, stuff like that. I agree with Mona. Mona ain't right. And Mona right. And also she was laughing because she said you don't get to change or whatever. I will say this for women. Ladies, if you dating a hoe right now, you know he was a hoe. Okay. You know he was a hoe. What I would say for women is move very slow in relationships with men who were former hoes. Okay. They trying to be rebranded now. Okay. And you the first one since the rebrand. Have you ever been the first one since the rebrand? Sometimes you shouldn't be, because let me tell you why. The first one from the rebrand, you got to be very careful because they think they rebranded, okay? And a lot of times what's going on is these men, a lot of these hoe men, you've been a hard chick to get. You've been the hardest female for them to get, and so suddenly they say you done whooped them into shape. They like, I just wanna I'm just gonna settle down. I'm gonna be this and that. But really, they after that coochie cat. They so drunk for the coochie cat. They so want it so bad they'll try to change up for a season to get your coochie. Just to get it, and then they'll start acting a fool after they got you. Girls, take your time. With a hoe, I almost want to tell women, don't give them none till marriage. Make them work in that, okay? Because listen, I'm really serious. These men need to prove themselves. A lot of times what they've done, a lot of times what happens with women, I've seen plenty of stories where women they didn't play no games with this dude. They didn't play no this and that. And he was a hoe. He was out there doing all kind of hoe stuff. And he was sleeping with everybody. And then suddenly, because you making it hard to get, you saying, I ain't interested because you out here hoeing in these streets and stuff like that. And they like, oh, well, yeah, I'm trying to change. I'm trying to get my life together. I'm trying to make them show that they trying to get. Don't make sex shouldn't be the most important thing in the relationship. Then see how they do. Give them a minute. Don't rush to have sex with these men because a lot of them are changing because they just really are that thirsty for you. They just, because you set a boundary, and some of them just are challenged by your boundary. And they not really wanting to change. They just challenged by you. Okay, so make sure motherfuckers changed. Okay, so that's why I say, and that usually is making them wait and making them go beyond the wait time. I agree with Mona. It's hard to change a hoe. Okay, that's what I say. But that's one of the ways you can see. And always have the energy of detachment. Even after you do have sex, if you know he getting ready to act a fool, don't give him no time. If he start acting a fool immediately after you and him done had a relationship, you said, dang, made him wait, and you made him wait, and he weighed you out, and he start acting a fool immediately after. Don't give him no time. Don't give nobody like that no time. If he go back to hold him, cut him off. Don't no spinning the block. Don't spin the block. Don't spin the circle. Don't spin the nut. Goodbye. What? Wait a minute. I thought you was serious now. You told me you was ready to change, but no, you're not. You out here, no, it was just one time I fell off. You fell off. You lost this one. And stick to it. Okay, because he's getting ready to put you in a cycle. Because he already knew. See, he was good. If he was good for 10 months, and then suddenly you give him some, and then after that 10 months, you done gave him some, and then he start out here back hoeing, and then you catch him, and he like, well, it was just one time, baby. You know, you was spin you. I changed my whole life. Well, you should know. You didn't. Nah, you changed your whole life because you just wanted to get me in bed. Nope. Cut him off. Because he ain't going to change. He ain't going to change. I saw one hoe up stand up post. I saw one man talking about after he got broken up. He broke up with somebody. Something happened. I don't know. And he was up there talking about when they tell you that you go, you could call looking at somebody. They ain't gonna change. So I was like, look at your pitiful ass. They ain't gonna change. They ain't lying to y'all. I said, look at this hoe. This hoe done got broke down. This whole line, but the hoe wasn't broke down. The hoe was really just out there trying to get other. That's how you get other women. I done got heartbroken because I couldn't keep my dick in my pants. I was just heartbroken. Just be like, okay, like really, make those type of men wait. Because you ain't no different than the girl he just left, okay? To make him wait. Even if you are different, then he going to show it to you. He going to be really about that. He going to wait it out. Now, some of them will wait you out and still be a hoe. But if he wait you out and still be a hoe, afterwards, immediately end it. Do not give him a second chance. Do not let him spin the box. Do not do none of that. So end it. Because he getting ready to put you in a cycle that's going to be going. I mean, I even was looking at we talked about Kia, what's his name, Kia Proctor and all that stuff. When Kia was going with Kim and she got 5 kids, Jazzy really don't believe that's her. You own baby 2. Like you about to go down that way. Why he ain't meant? There's no. He's starting to make. He really didn't break up with Kia. See, that's why girls can't see it. He did not break up with Kia. That's what the story Kia told. The story Kia told was that he had a side baby that he wanted her to accept. And she was like, hey, I thought we were supposed to be getting married. That's not where I want to go. You've cheated on me. I thought I had these children. I got this family. I thought we were heading this way. And this is what we was going to be. But that's not. So she ended that relationship. So it wasn't one where he said, hey, I want something new and something different. No. So now he's going over there reproducing the same type of relationship he had with the girl who just ended with him. But she thinks she probably special. Now, because we all seeing this relationship is more in the public eye, he might try to make you think you special. So he might try to marry you up. But he's already even said it. Remember Kim was on the other day talking about women who have more children, the more less likely women are out there that, get a man. That could be true sometimes. Okay. It might be harder for you. I'm not saying you can't get no man, because I had a cousin who was bad in her day and had she was married and her and her husband broke up and she had 8 or 9 kids, child. She got remarried to a man who had had it going on. So sometimes women, that ain't true. But it is a lot harder for you ladies. If you keep giving somebody, it's going to be harder for you. He already telling you. He already know. Listen, Jazzy, he already setting you up. He already know that you going to be, it's almost concubinish. He's already putting you, he giving you babies because he branding you. And most men like, oh man, she already got 3 kids with Cam Newton, man. She already got 5 kids with Cam Newton, man. Maybe, do I want to take on all that? A lot of men is thinking that. And there'll be sometimes you'll meet a nice guy who will take, you might look up, but it's going to be a lot harder for you when you giving somebody a family before they've earned the family. And then they leave you, and then you stuck in his world, in his sphere, and you trying to find somebody else out there, but he knows it's harder. He done already said it. I don't know what woman can still be. I'd be like, yeah, that's it. Him up there when he said that one time on that show, when he said it's harder for women, I would have been my cue. Y'all say, you right, it's harder for me. Ain't no sense in me having no more babies up here and married. Let me get up out of here. Because the more you live with them, the more you probably gonna end up pregnant again. Okay. It's just wild. What's our wild? I thought myself, but I'm on something different. But I just saw that, and I'm just like, women, you gotta be protective of your womb, your space. And men who are playboys, and you got to make sure they're not having sexuality issues, okay? Because a lot of times these men be hiding that they having sexuality issues from childhood or everything like that, and they ain't sure about what they want. They trying to convince themselves they like coochie, so they going around trying to have sex with everybody, and trying to make I like coochie, but they really don't. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure that that's not the case. What's going on, okay? And like she said, they don't have some sort of dysfunctional sexual energy going around, okay? Especially a man that's not picky. Oh my God. I remember I heard a story about a man. I was like, about a celebrity. I was just, you know how these girls love to talk. But child, I was like, they ain't picky? I thought they was picky. I was like, oh no, they's out here hoeing. Ugh, just a bit. And you know what? This person was able to get away with these. One of the girls, the person that they was hoeing with, they was hoeing with. When they told me the story, you know what? I said, well, you didn't have to. I said, hold up. I said, you had to sign an NDA agreement. And she said, nah, they just took my phone. And what did she tell me? They took her phone and they did something. I don't know if she had to sign an agreement or not. First of all, I ain't signed no fucking agreement. How unromantic is that bullshit? Like, I mean, I can understand we start dating and you got big industry shit and it ain't before a sex or something, and you talking about signing an NDA. I feel like, but if you just saying coming into your world or NDA, okay. But you were talking about before the sex act, I throw an NDA in I'll be looking at you like you crazy. But this girl, I think apparently this situation happened, right? And I was like, okay, why'd you do all that? And she was just like, because, I just wanted to see blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay. But it was, I was so shocked by the whole thing. And she said, I know you looking kind of shocked. And I said, uh-huh. And she said, I just think he thought nobody would believe that he would be messing with me. I said, that's right. I mean, not in this way, but a lot of men do that. They sitting up there, they hoeing out here with these girls, and they be hoeing from place to place, and they ain't picky. And they just getting other girls who's like been around the block and all that stuff, and they know these girls ain't gonna be believable. Okay, and why would he do that with you? Why would he do it? But I believe him, motherfucker. I listen to you. Like I tell y'all on this show, I entertain bullshit. Okay, so it's not that'll shock me. But women, you need to pay attention to that. When men show you, just tell you who they are. That's who they are. They ain't lying to you. Okay, they ain't lying to you. Okay, don't do these men tell you. You go to any, like when you go to some of these men's pages, like and stuff like that. A lot of these women be like it. I be laughing because they be looking like playboys. Okay, you can't, y'all know what it is. Okay, so some of y'all can't be, but I know what it is. But some like a lot of y'all like to hope y'all just want to believe y'all different. But usually if they got a pattern, there's a pattern there. And if they've had a pattern, ladies, like if you today you get a like a reformed Nick Cannon and he talking about I'm reformed, don't get pregnant by him, don't have no sex with him, make him get to know him and see if he reformed. Okay. Quit trying to reform playboys for yourself. My coochie gonna reform or my love gonna reform him. No, it ain't. Okay, you make yourself something different so that you can make sure that person's reformed. And so you have to understand what was their problem in the past. If their problem was they was a sexual deviant running around here having sex with everybody and doing everything, they was hoeing out in these streets. Well, you know what? You need a relationship. You need to learn how to be friends with someone first. You need to learn how to build a friendship. You need to learn how to build a relationship that where sex ain't the first thing to meet you, where coochie cat ain't the first thing to meet, and be that for them. Okay. Now if you gonna find out pretty they still a hoe out there. You gonna find out. Okay. Is that it? We talked about the baddies. We talked about that. Okay, yes, we have. Okay, so you guys. Okay, I give y'all another show. I'm gonna try to come back this week and give another show later on this week or something like that. But I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. A little bit, my little baddie show. I had to come on and talk about it, okay? But you guys, I was let me see. You can hit me up on the Carlotta Chat with Facebook page. You can also hit me up on Instagram at Carly's_Galaxy, Carly's with an S. And there's a link for Threads on there. And then for TikTok, it's Keisha Carlotta. X, it is, I have 2 accounts, Carlotta72 and C Chat with Show when I'm on there, okay? You guys, thank you for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you got it or whatever. Hopefully we'll do another one later on this week. I'm out. See y'all. Bye. Oh, wait, man, let me put my little thank y'all up, okay? Thank y'all. See y'all later. Have a good one.